Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. And beating Man City 2-0. We'll be talking about the game. So I think there's a lot of good stuff that did come out of this game today. And what a performance. What a performance. I know it's not the usual setup, by the way. I very much get that it's not my bedroom, what have you. I'm on holiday. So yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. But anyway, what a performance that was today. You know, I think going into this game, I predicted 3-1 that we'd lose. I wasn't confident going into it, having watched Man City last weekend and how good they were and how more like City they were. It was definitely weird, really, coming out into this game to then see what I could only describe as utter brilliance. You know, dominance. You know, we gave them nothing all game. They had nothing. I don't think ever really looked like we were going to concede. I think that's probably the best way to sort of sum it up. Joey, Spurs, Daniel, Steampunk, Eve, Adventurous, Donna, how are we all? It's great performance. You know, I thought look at the start of the game, it was a bit flat, which I think helped us a lot. Sorry, you know, they didn't really hit any sort of good gear, did they? You know, they didn't hit fourth or fifth gear. It felt very much like they were sort of passengers in the game a little bit. And the more that went on, the more I didn't have any nerves, really. You know, it's one of those ones where I think I'm probably looking like I'm going to be wrong on Kudus already. I'm probably looking like I'm going to be wrong on João Paulinho as well already, which I'm happy to. It's obviously good. But no, look, City looked a little bit arrogant in a weird way. It was quite weird, like looking at Cherky, you know, it looked a little bit arrogant. I think losing Aït-Nouri early on in injury probably didn't help them. I think they lost a real good dimension out of the game. They obviously lost a lot of the creativity down the left, obviously with Nathan Ake then being the guy coming on. Obviously, Josko Gvardiol, I think, still injured. So that was obviously a massive thing for us. But, you know, I listened to like commentators go, "Oh yeah, Kudus didn't really, you know, do many skillful things today." It was like, yeah, I hate commentary like that. You know, I thought he played well. You know, he held the ball up well, good link-up play. Don't really ever remember him even giving the ball away. You know, it was quite a solid outing. I thought Richie was great, and obviously Johnson. Again, it's Johnson at back posts is just it's a combination that you can't beat. You can't beat in football, you know. Ryan, mate, how are you? Callum Roach, here he is. It's watermelon vodka is what I'm drinking. It's decent actually. It's not too bad. But really, you know, I think I tweeted it even. What did I tweet? Hang on. Here I said, us a brilliance from Spurs. They give Frank what he wants in the window. And that's the best way to sum it up. You know, he had the team absolutely nailed to a T today. I was surprised they went with the back four. I thought we'd go back to the back five that we had with PSG. But it worked. I thought Mickey and Romero today were just magnificent. Jed Spence, is he the best defensive fullback in the league? Like this, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. You know, so unreal, really. Where Jed Spence, the turnaround he's had, obviously new contracts as well, very deserved. The midfield three, Bentancur. Does anyone else sort of look at Rodrigo Bentancur at the moment and kind of say, that's the Bentancur that we all remembered. That's the Bentancur that was so good, you know, before he had those big injuries. So, you know, magnificent. I thought Pape, I would love to know how he gets himself into such good condition, because he does not stop running all game. Magnificent today for Pape. And yeah, Paulinho, rock solid. I don't think he even lost a 50-50 today. I think he won them all, defensively sound, you know, obviously scores. debut, his first goal for Spurs, absolutely brilliant, you know. And look, I've always said I'll always hold my hands up and say that I was wrong about a player. And right now, I look awful. That take is awful in Palhinha. My take on Kudus is a bit awful. And I'm loving it. I'm glad to be proved wrong, actually. It makes me feel I'm a winner. It's still at the end of the day, you know, because it means the players are doing well. But no, I thought the front three worked so well. It was quite interesting how we allowed them to, down their wings in terms of with Ake and Lewis. Rico Lewis, isn't it? I keep thinking it was Nico, but Rico. We allowed them to have the ball and we cut off the middle. You know, we cut off Gonzalez, we cut off Tijani Reinders, we cut off, obviously, Rodri came on, you know, sort of took away their launch pad. And, you know, Bentancur was great, Pape was brilliant, Palhinha obviously really solid. So all in all, those three were great. And I thought Richie's pressing, I think he's been magnificent so far this season, Richie. I mean, 2 goals obviously last weekend. He gets an assist today, but he pressed for the second goal, I'm pretty sure. So it really has been a great start to the season for him. You know, obviously Slanky having that injury sort of opened up that lane a little bit, and well, he's taking it with a great hand there. And yeah, look, just really, really happy. You know, I think it was good to see Wilson Odegaard come on. Looked really good today, actually, Wilson Odegaard. I don't know if anyone else thought that. Looked really, really good. Like really technical, quick, sharp, you know, really impressed with that. Obviously, good to see Lucas Bergvall as well. So, look, really, really good. Really, really good. I mean, looking at the stats, I mean, Spurs had more shots on target. You know, I know we had less possession, but that's not shocking when it comes to Man City. You know, discipline maybe is the only one that you could have a concern with the 4 bookings, you know. Maybe. But we're top of the league, and that's what I care about. We're top of the league. And 2 wins from 2 so far. You know, obviously a really good performance Burnley, and this performance was just magnificent. So how do we all feel? Let's have a look at I've missed some comments. Let me see what you all think. Thomas Frank is class. There you go. Spencer's great speed. Defense is solid. Good game for the boys, but it was a bit lucky 1 or 2 times. Football's a game of luck half the time. Energized Bunny. Spence has a collection of players in his pocket. You're telling me, Daniel, mate. No, I mean, that's a good point, Michael. You know, Destiny's not guaranteed his place back. And I've always said it should always be, we have rotation. We have 2 players for a position and rotate. I think it's great that a dog is probably, you know, I know he's back in training this week, but it was just a bit too soon. So next weekend, if I look, Bournemouth at home. Yeah, I mean, he'll be back for that game fit-wise. He may not play, though, and that's a good position to be in. Happy days, early days, such a nice feeling. You're happy we won. Great win, lads. Absolutely. No time to rest. We still need players this window for sure. Philip, how are you? Don't jinx it, Joey. West Ham got absolutely mullered yesterday. That was mental. I completely didn't realise there was football on. So I woke up this morning to loads of like West Ham's tweets of just misery. And I was like, are they always this miserable? And then I checked and I was like, oh, no, yeah, that was justified. Hope for a draw, but over the moon with the win. Solid sub-stay, but we need more. Absolutely. Savinho, obviously, Savinho is going to be an interesting one now. This game's now out of the way. Savinho won't impact Spurs versus Manchester City. So you would hope people in the higher ups are looking at the Burnley game, looking at this game and realizing that there's talent here. 1 or 2 more could make a huge difference, you know. The Romero booking wasn't a booking. He got the ball. You know, got the ball. Great game. Great performance all round. Absolutely. Hey, Tony, how are you? Man City lost again. Another side. Honestly, Spurs, I don't know how they do it. I can't explain it to you how, no matter how bad Spurs can be, we seem to beat Manchester City, and it makes no sense. There's no reason for it, you know. Savinho surely wants to join top of the league now. That's it. That's it. I'm good, thanks, Tony, mate. I'm just on holiday. That's why there's no inside Spurs sign right about here, you know. There's no Gareth Bale and Tom Brady jerseys right about there, you know. Unfortunately, I've got pretty decent barbecue, villas, and very lovely views. Sitting outside, watching Spurs win, having a drink. Unreal. Like the barbecue. It was on earlier. We had one earlier, actually. Absolutely. Do I think Savinho's injured? Yeah, I think so. May not be a serious one, but I do think he's injured. Celebration day. Absolutely. Cheers to you all. And there's water to make sure I'm being smart. Cheers to you all, because, yeah. What a day. What a bloody day. Spurs top of the league. You know, looking ahead now, obviously, what I think of Nico Paz rumours, proper player. A lot of good talent there. It's good to be top of the table again. All right, do you know what? It's a great feeling. I don't think for a second we're going to win the league, but do you know what? What a great feeling to be there. Just let me enjoy it, you know. But no, looking ahead, obviously, still a little while left of this window. Shuts on the 1st at when does the transfer window close? Here we go. It still thinks I'm looking at the Spanish window. September 1st, closing at 7 p.m. Okay. So, good to see you. Absolute cheers, Steampunk, mate. Great performance by Pepe. Absolutely. Always nice to watch the rest of the footy this weekend with our game out of the way and won. A nice feeling. Spurs can't ruin your weekend. Isn't that always a good feeling? The background looks like a Bermuda sky. Oh, it's all right, isn't it? It's all right. I mean, I'll spin it around a little bit. That's what we're dealing with. It's a pretty good time in sunny Spain. September 1st. Yeah, September 1st. When Van der Ven is healthy, we are hard to beat. Look, him and Romero are magnificent. Just magnificent. You know, just got to keep him healthy. Got to make sure we're rotating, using the squad properly. And I think Thomas Frank would have studied last season and the season before with the injuries and things like that, and probably knows, look, we need to rotate and be smarter, you know, and make sure that players are not having to play every single game 3 times a week. And I mean, look, players like Kev Danso makes a massive impact. Obviously, there's chat that Vuskovic may be leaving out on loan this season. We'll see about that. You're going to need a centre half if that's the case. I can't be having Big Kev Danso and Ben Davies as my centre backs. And I love Big Kev Danso. Just need someone to play alongside him. And it's not Archie Gray. But again, I mean, look, there was rotation. You know, you got to think, obviously, we played PSG Wednesday last week. You know, we then played 3 days later. And, you know, there's rotation in that game. There's rotation again for this game. And, you know, yes, right now we're playing once a week. And obviously, then after Bournemouth, there's 2 weeks until we play again. It's still good to build that into the routine and mindset of things. So Spurs still need to add to this team, absolutely. You know, a left winger would be fantastic. You know, centre half is what they're talking about as well. I think Spurs maybe only get Savinho if that was the only. I mean, it's the only name that we truly know about. Obviously, there's been links to El Canoes. There's been links to Nico Paz and things like that. But I think there'll be one more. I was hoping there'd be 2, but I feel like only 1. But to be honest, I've been so wrong this window. I don't mind being wrong again, you know. So we'll sort of see on that one. Do you think Vuskovic and Kinski would get time at early cup stages? Kinski is pretty promising between the sticks, and Vusko's Vusko. Maybe so. You know, you're playing 3 times a week. You're going to need the squad. You need 25 for a reason, you know. Biggest impact is Frank and Spurs agreeing to bring half, if not more, of his backroom team to. They've hit the ground running and got the backroom staff he wanted. Now back him, please, Mr. Levy. I mean, look, you know, 1 or 2 more would be incredible, I think. I just know how these seasons go. These seasons go. You're always going to get these injuries, and you're gonna you're going to lose players for weeks on end. So it'd be good to kind of jump out ahead of that, if you know what I mean. I'm covered in after sun. That's why I look so shiny. That's why I'm also so burnt. Dr. Frank will see his next patient now. That's Andoni Iriola next weekend. What dominant display, unbelievable performance from everyone. Absolutely. Joshua and Gibbo, how are we both? Not to be negative, Odo Berentel, let's just see. It's 2 games in. I can't believe the impact that Frank has had on the midfield. They boss Man City. Yeah. I'm so surprised by how good those 3 did today. Like, I think they're good players, but Man City's midfield looked really, really poor. I know there was obviously Vic made a couple of really good saves, but even Vicario wasn't that busy. I thought his distribution today good as well. He was decent with dealing of set pieces and things like that. But yeah, Vicario having a quiet game is never a bad thing. It's the best thing in the world. I feel the ref had a very poor game today. Should have been 10 men for City. Well, James Trafford was trying to give them to be playing with 10 men. He was not good today. He struggled. The issue is Man City. It's like how I view centre backs who are quick versus Mickey van der Ven. It's just like Romero's not slow, but he looks it compared to Mickey. When you've had a keeper as your goalie for years, who is a magnificent on-ball keeper, everything else feels so much worse, and that's what they'll find with Donnarumma. That's what they'll find with James Trafford. But yeah, he struggled today. Frank has saying he has 23 in his squad, so should be 2 more, right? What you'd hope. So I was looking absolutely like an absolute bargain. 50, yeah. Was it 13 mil? 13, I think it was. Agree. First short 75th minute. Absolutely. Up the bloody Spurs. Look, I'm going to head off down to the swimming pool and enjoy people's company and stop being antisocial. Appreciate you all kicking them out and watching. Up the bloody Spurs. Give us a subscribe if you haven't already. You're a legend as well. Why not? Enjoy the rest of your days, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Spurs can't ruin it for you. All right, I promise. They'll try, maybe. And look, we'll catch up in the next few days, if not when I'm back home in less sunny England. Take care, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.